got the new CP-30 from Bowtech, the Easton Axis long range, vapor trail strings, tight spot quiver, a very expensive hat. Whenever you buy one of these very expensive hats, they give you a new bow with it. Paperwork, throw that away. No, we won't throw that away. QAD integrate rest. Got some 125 grain field points for when we get ready to start sighting it in. Spot Hog Wise Guy. It's a trigger release, 55 grain titanium inserts from Easton. Oh, dead silent. The Spot Hog Fast Eddy triple stack. All right, let's get over to putting it together. First thing we need to do is adjust the draw length. All right, so he has a 21 or a 71 inch wingspan. We're gonna divide that by 2.5 to get 28.5. We're gonna get our starting draw length at 28.5. Bowtech is pretty slick. You can adjust draw weight, draw length, everything with a couple Allen wrenches. We're just loosening up the Allen heads right now. It's set on 29, we're gonna adjust it to 28.5. Okay, so we're on 28.5 now. We'll put the Allens back in, the screws. So these are the little screws that I was talking about, but that's that little screw, and there's 3 of them on each cam. And I've got it set in comfort right now. Bowtech has comfort and performance. I don't mind performance myself, but it makes it a little bit more aggressive. You feel it when you're pulling back. I'll flip it over, change the draw stop. It was set on 29, so we're gonna go to 28.5. So now we gotta go over and do the same thing on the other side. Change the draw stop on this side to 28.5. Okay, so we got this one. Just take it all the way out. It's just barely behind the string, and I don't like it being barely behind the string. So we'll drop her down a little bit, move her over to 28.5, start putting some screws back in there. So this one, we're gonna move around to the front now. It's a cool thing about this cam on there. The flip disc technology, you can move the screws around to where they're easiest for you to access. Just double check to make sure I was in the 28.5 mark. It's right there. I don't know if you can see that. All right, we will cut this off. And you can tell how sharp that is. Okay, that will go over here with this paperwork. This is just so if anybody else wants to see what it's like setting up a bow. It's not that hard. I think next thing I'll do, I'm going to crank it down 5 turns. The reason I'm going to do that is because he is new to bow hunting. I'm going to get him on 60 pounds. Okay, so we're going to go half, 1, half, 2. Oh man, that jumped. There, we go back in. I don't know if it's the Allen wrench or this head, but half, 3, half, 4. Okay, same thing on the other end. That's the max you want to do on one of these. It's 10 turns. I should take it down to 60 pounds. If I remember right, it takes an Allen wrench. Let's see. You got to take the outside piece off so I can loosen the inside piece to get it started. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up the clamp. The clamp it on here. Clamp. All right, so we're clamped on, so I'm just gonna snug it a little bit. And then I need to make sure our arrow, which I haven't set it yet, but that should be really close to center on the burger hole. And they don't have a 0 mark. Some of the other bows on the integrates have a 0 mark, but that is really damn close. So I'm gonna go ahead and nail it right there. Alrighty, and we'll put our outside clamp back on. Yeah, I'm setting that on 0 and 0, because I like being at 0 to start everything. So we're putting the scope mount, sight mount on the bow. So far so good, everything's looking good. Only screwed up and dropped a screw once. Got out of order once, not too bad for a rookie. All right, so when you're, can you see that? Yeah. If you can see this right here and this right here, the closer you are, the more adjustment up and down you have because you're close. Less accurate, allegedly, the further out you are, the less adjustment you have up and down because you're further away, but it's supposedly more accurate. I almost always run with 3 showing back here. That's just a personal preference. There's no book that says that's how you have to do it. It's just how I do it. Once I get done sighting it in, I'll take a silver Sharpie and I'll put a pin mark right through there so I know I'm lining it back up. I don't know if you can see that, right through there. Okay. All right, so we're done putting the pieces on for now. I'm going to pull the tapes out in a little bit. I'm not going to do that right now. Of course, I'm going to make a bunch of noise. So we got everything that goes with it in there. And close that up, set it off to the side till we get ready to start sighting it in. The next thing I'm going to do, I do on almost every bow. I think I have done it on every bow. These are something I love. It's a quick release, bee stinger, quick release. Right here. Will it? Yeah, there it goes. It did. So, to me, it just makes more sense, especially if you're going in and out of a case that may or may not fit your stabilizer sticking out. So quick releases, to me, are the way to go. I'm not going to put the additional weights on here for now. If I wanted to, there's 2 additional weights in here. But for now, let's just sort of pop her in here. If I got the right. All right, of course not. I got to get one more out. One thing I didn't get that I forgot about was a wrist sling. I'm a firm believer in wrist slings, just because it only takes that one time to bend your cam when you drop it on accident after firing, and you're like, man, I should have had a wrist sling. So I'll add that in before we start sighting it in. But to get this thing mounted and started to being adjusted, quick release goes right here on your stabilizer mount. Hopefully the GoPro cameraman and the Canon cameraman are getting all this. And this one you gotta pop it down there pretty good. Don't break your wrist, but put it on there pretty good. This is what I like about the quick release. Screw that on here. See that? Screw that on there like that. Then it just slides right in there and you twist it with your hand. Starting to look like a bow, huh? All right, so now we're tightened in. We got stabilizer, we got the sight, we got a rest. We will be putting the rest in here. I'm not sure yet what string I'm gonna use for this, so I'm gonna leave it off for now. The next thing we need to do is put our D-loop on. We want this level, more level on both sides. Now, I'll get one of the arrows we're gonna use. I don't know if you're using a fat arrow versus a micro diameter, if it makes a big difference, but to me, I don't like to take the chance. I'm just gonna say it does make a big difference, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Silver Sharpie, something to save your life. Now, put your arrow bubble on here to make sure your arrow's level. And something I do, I don't know if you can see it on the cameras, but I will always move that just because when you at full draw, it comes all the way up right there. So that will affect your arrow being level. So check over here, see if I'm level. I need to come up just a hair. Well, just a hair more. All right, so now I'm level. Now I'm gonna take my Silver Sharpie and give myself a mark here, just underneath, and a mark right here, just above. Okay, look good? Release that, pop that off. Take my level off for a second. Let's come over here. Okay, so we're in. Get some D-loop material, and I'm just gonna use black on this one since this is the original string. I'm just using it to set the bow up and shoot it in. So that's one thing I do. If I'm gonna do custom strings, I will leave the original strings on it, get them all set up, get it shot in, and then I'll take them off and put the new strings on, and I'll leave the original strings exactly set up the way they were when I shot it in. That way, if I'm ever out and I have an issue, I can just swap the strings out. I don't take the D-loop off, I don't take the Peep off, I leave it all on. So what I just did there was took some wax and I just drew the string through the wax. What that does is it lets the string hold a little better and it's easier to work with. It's not so slippery. So where I put my two silver marks, I'm gonna take and tie just a regular knot. Like you're doing a basic square knot, the beginnings of one. I'll do one on top, pull it tight, swing it around to the bottom, do one on the bottom. Pull it tight. On the top, this time I'll do 2 loops. 1, 2. I'll pull it tight. And this is just a stop. I'll cut it off. I'll leave it about 1/4 of an inch long. Man, I need to get a new, yeah. So much for being a razor knife. That is not razor. That is butter knife. All right, I'll cut the other side at 1/4. And that sucks. I pulled on it so much I screwed it up. Now, what I'll do is I'll heat those up and shrink them down. Okay, I'll do the same thing one more time. Get my string. Run it through the wax. And look, I'm doing about 8 inches, 10 inches. I only need about 3 or 4, but I'm telling you, it's a lot easier to work with a little bit too much than not enough. All right, so going to the top line that I made with my Silver Sharpie. 1 knot on top. 1 knot on bottom. 2 loops on top. 1, 2. Pull it tight. Use the razor knife, not the butter knife. check them, heat them up, get the bumps out of the string out of the way. All right, and I always have a little knock here that I use just to make sure. I want just a little bit of travel, not a lot, just a little bit. And right here is where you can make your last little adjustments if you want. That's not too bad. It's maybe an 1/8 of an inch. It's not too bad. Now, I'm gonna get my D-loop material. I'm gonna use black. And this is really cool. I learned this from somebody on the internet. Comment down below if you know who it is, because I can't remember for the life of me. I guess that's part of that old timers disease, but go 4 inches and a quarter. So I went from 4 to 8 1/4. 4 1/4 inches is the perfect D-loop length for me. Cut it off right there at 4 1/4. Fray the end out real good. Heat it up. You're trying to make it nice, clean, bumpy knot. Okay? Let it cool for 1 second. All right. The bottom of the knot is always away. And I don't know why, but from what I've read, I don't have evidence to prove this, but I haven't seen any evidence to disprove it. Putting the bottom away, pull it tight as you can with your hand, and then putting the top with this loop right here on the side facing you. So we'll go through there. And it's a little tough working with a 4 1/4 inch piece. I'm going to pull that a little bit tighter, because it is tough working with a short piece. There we go. And once you get that piece through there, get your needle nose or whatever you're using, pull it tight. Make sure you got it all through there. I didn't get it all through there yet. Come on, baby. Why do you want to fight with me? And I said 4 1/4 was the perfect length to use, right? And now I'm fighting with it. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. And the reason why it's the perfect length, I will show you in a second. If I do want you to believe me. Okay, so pull that tight. Now, we'll melt that side down. Make it nice, clean. I like melting it clean. I don't like catching on fire because I don't like it to be burned looking. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's just a thing. It's a personal preference. Some people like catching it on fire. They know it's burning then. I just like to know that it's all in there. All right. Letting it cool off for a second. Now, I'm going to hook my needle nose in there and give it a pull. Another pull. Get it all in there. Okay, see, I got it in there. Now I'm going to tighten it. Tighten the crap out of it. Once I got that tight, now I'm going to get my D-loop tightener. Put that on there. And bada bing, bada boom. Got a beautiful D-loop that's exactly the same on all my bows. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put a peep in. And to me, a good starting point, see I've got, that's my setting right there. But I'm just going to go, let's go 5.5 inches. Right where that string is perfect to start. Put a peep in. What color peep should we use on this one? We'll just use a regular old black one. Use a 3/16 black. And the reason why I say start with about 5.5 inches or 6 inches, because once you get it to start shooting it in, what you'll be able to do is rise it up or down to be the most comfortable for you. And to me, shooting a bow, it's all about what's most comfortable for you. There's no right way or wrong way to set your peep up. I guess there is. You could put it backwards or whatever. Some people shoot without a peep. It freaks me out. So put it in the grooves. See, you can put it in backwards. All right. Now these little strings right here that they put on there, that's for you. So you can have it string already perfectly separated. All right, so I'm going to back it off a little bit. Normally, I was just going to leave it there until he pulls it a few times and tries it out, but I'm going to tie this one in just so it's done. Yeah, let's do that. So, again, we'll stick with our black theme. Get my black string. And this one, I use a long string for this. Probably 2 foot. And again, I'm going to put some wax on it. Wax it down really good. Because this one's, we really want it to hold the peep in place. And we want it to be tight and not loosen up and fray out and do anything else funky. Okay? So what I'll do, I'll start at the bottom. I'll go up through the middle. I'll go around on the top of this string one time. And then the rest of them, I'll go 5 times around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll pull it tight. Pull this string tight. Pull this tight again. Then I'll lay that string out of the way. Then I'll do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it tight. All right, then I'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it tight. Now it's looking good. Now I'll go down through here.
Do you want 1 hot dog or 2?
Just 1.
Ginger weenie boil?
Yeah, you can boil my weenie. We're on video. This is fun. My camera girl didn't show up, so I'm doing it myself. That's Mrs. Pawpaw, or as the grandkids refer to her, G Money. Okay, so that looks good. 3 times around. Okay, so I'll go around the D-loop once, or I mean the peep once. I'm sorry, I'm flustered now. And go around twice, and then I'm going to hook it around on this back side. Come up through there. And since I did 3 on the other side, I'm going to make sure I hook this so it's hooked in right there. I'll get 3 on this side. So that was 1, that's 2. This is 3. Make it look nice and pretty like the other one. All right, then we'll do 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suck them down. I like to try to make it as close to even on both sides as possible. All right, then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Suck it up. Now here's the fun part. Now you go make a loop, throw this on the other side, and come around and through the hole. 1, 2, oh, come on. 3, 4, 5. Put that on the other side of the loop you made and unroll it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that was really strange looking, but it worked. Now when you pull this tight, it just tightened down on itself. It's not exactly flat, so I'll work it with my fingernail to get it exactly flat because I don't like that bump in there. Okay, so I worked that bump out. Now we're done. We've tied in the D-loop, we've tied in the Peep. Now we will cut it. Again, about 1/4 inch. Throw that in the trash. About 1/4 inch. Put that in the trash. Get the lighter, heat it up, and shrink it down. And I'll tell you what, the first few times I did this, it was so freaking aggravating. And but then when it got right, man, it's so satisfying to do all this for yourself. Sure, the shop can do it, and it's nice to have a good relationship with the shops. But when you can do it yourself like that, this thing's ready to go try. We do need to, I'll go ahead and put this string in. I'll show you how I do it. Since this is this string is the string that's the original string that's going to come off, I'm going to go ahead and put this string in here for now. So you crank it down a little bit with your vise. So I'm going to put this is a cable driven release. So I'm going to put the cable that drives the release into the cable on the string, on the bow string. So I put it in the press to take a little bit of the stress off of here. I'm going to split it out as close to half as possible. I can count the strands, but I'm just going to eyeball it. I calibrated my eyeball the other night and I think it's pretty close. That looks pretty dang close, right? So now we just stick this up through here, just like that, okay? Now we're going to back this off. Okay. So typically I would use my release, but I don't have one with me right here. So I'm just going to pull it back. You see where it activated the rest? It's activated now. So I'm going to let my string go in. I'm going to give it just a little tug. Do it one more time because I want it to be exact and I want it to be in time. So I'm going to draw back. All right. Let my string go forward. Okay. Now I'm going to put it back in the vise. Okay, I'm just going to do the same knot I did up on my D-loop. Well, I said I was going to do the same knot I did up on my D-loop. Just got to remember how to tie it. That's not it. There we go. And it's basically just half inches, but so I don't know if you can see that right there. That's the knot. Oh, don't do that to yourself. Grab your needle nose, pull it tight. Grab a razor, cut it off. Give yourself about a 1/4 inch. Throw the trash in the trash. Fray it out really good because this is the bigger one. And then heat it up. Worst case is, oh, I caught it on fire. All right, voila. This bow is officially ready to go out and sight in. I will put the stickers on here just for dampening purposes. And we'll talk to y'all later.